All right, we are on the homework 3-6.3 special factoring. Work hard at recognizing patterns in polynomials. Students who do make this lesson pretty easy. It's the 30th of 60 homeworks for difficulty. It should take you about 30 minutes to do this homework assignment. All right. First off, we've got a little review. Remember, 7 to the negative first is the same as 1 over 7 minus 1 over 9. Common denominator is 63. This is 9 63rds. This is 7 63rds. 9 minus 7 is 2 63rds. So we would write on our answer blank fraction 2 over 63. You could also do it on your calculator and get the same answer. Next one. Match the expression in column 1 with its equivalent expression in column 2. So 1/3 to the negative 1 is the same as 3. Negative 1/3 to the negative 1 is the same as negative 3. Negative 1/3 to the negative 1 is negative 3. And negative 1/3 to the negative 1 is positive 3. All right, next one. Number 4, factor. Oops. Let's try it again. Okay, so we're looking for what two numbers multiplied equal 45, added equal 19. Let me think. 15 and 3 comes close. I can't think of any. What you can do is enter it on your calculator as 1 19 45. So go mode 5 3 1 19 45, and my calculator says, yeah, it's negative 19 plus root 181 over 2. So it doesn't come out evenly, so we would say that polynomial is prime. Number 5. Oops. Oh, come on now. 25, 20, and 4. You would do good to recognize this as being a square because the first number is a square of 5w. The last number is a square of 2. And the middle term is 5 times 2 times 2. So it's 5w plus 2 squared. On your calculator, if you entered mode 5, 3, if you entered 25 and 20 and 4, it'll say x equals negative 2/5. Since it's only got x, and we know there are two answers, both answers are going to be the same thing. This is the denominator, this is the numerator, and change this sign. Remember, that's the difference between factoring, which is what we're doing here, and solving, which is what your calculator is doing. So we would write 5w plus 2 squared. Parentheses, 5w plus 2, close parentheses, squared. Number 6, b squared minus 15 is not the difference of two squares. It's a difference of one square and a number that's not a square. Okay. This one, once again, you would do good to recognize that it's a perfect square trinomial because you've got c is a perfect square and 7, and it's going to be a minus sign between them because this is a minus sign. 7 times c times 2 is 14. You could enter that on your calculator. 1 1, negative 14, and 49. And once again, your calculator says x equals 7. So it'll be c minus 7 squared. Oh, they didn't ask us to factor it. Just asked us if it's a perfect square trinomial. Right, this one is a difference of two squares. The first one is a square. 36s squared minus 121 is 6s. So both terms begin with 6s. One of them's plus, the other one's minus. The square root of 121 is 11. So it's 6s plus 11, 6s minus 11. Now on your calculator, you could enter mode 5(3). You could enter 36, 0, because the middle term is 0, and the last term is negative 121. And your calculator will say x1 is 11/6, which would be this one right here. And x2 is negative 11/6, which is this one over here. So it's 6s plus 11, 6s minus 11. All right, next one. Once again, we've got a difference of two squares. It's kind of interesting the way it is a difference of two squares. The first square is a plus t. The second square is 7. So it's a plus t plus minus 7, a plus t plus 7. Now you can't use your calculator very easily on that one, but you can certainly see that it is a difference of two squares. So we would write parentheses a plus t plus 7 and a plus t minus 7 are the two factors. All right, number 10. Factor this completely. The key word here is completely, because we know c to the 4th minus 81 factors into c squared minus 9, c squared plus 9. The problem is this part here also factors into c minus 3, c plus 3. This part doesn't factor because it's not a difference of two squares. So that's why that part doesn't factor. Let's try entering this on our calculator. So mode 5(3), and it would be 1 and 0 and negative 81. And when you do, your calculator says x1 is 9, x2 is negative 9. So it gets these two roots right here, but it won't tell you that that part there is also factorable. So make sure you pay attention to that. So our factored form is c minus 3, c plus 3, and c squared plus 9. Number 11. Looks really complicated. Let's see if we can simplify it before we go through the middle business. No, we can't simplify it, so there's got to be something else going on here. And if you notice, the beginning part is a perfect square of 6v. The last part is a perfect square of 7f. If you take 6 times 7, which is 42, times 2, you get 84. So since it's negative, our factored form is going to be 6v minus 7f squared. Try entering those numbers on your calculator. Mode 5(3). Oops, clear. Okay, 36, negative 84, and 49. And your calculator says x equals 7/6. So you know it's 6v minus 7f, 6v minus 7f. Parentheses, 6v minus 7f, close parentheses, squared. 12. Factor this completely. I'm going to do a little substitution here. P plus Q, I'm going to say equals X. So I've got X squared plus 10X plus 25. Now that we know can factor into X plus 5 squared. Since X is P plus Q, this is P plus Q plus 5 squared. Okay, so when you see something squared, whatever that squared part is, you can make that a substitution. All right, so P plus Q plus 5 squared, parentheses, P plus Q plus 5, close parentheses, squared. Next one, 64 minus r cubed. You need to remember, you need to remember that this is a difference of two cubes. So you have 64 minus r cubed. Take the cube root of both parts. Cube root of 64 is 4 minus r. That's the first term. The second term is this squared, which is 16. This squared at the end, which is r squared. And the middle term is this times this, 4r. So our factored form is 4 minus r, 16 plus 4r plus r squared. Parentheses, 4 minus r, parentheses, 16 plus 4r plus r squared. Now, the problem with trying to do that one on your calculator is you would do mode 5, and it's actually a cube, so go 4, mode 5, 4. And A is 64, B is 0, C is 0, and D is minus 1. And when you do that, you get x1 is r, or is 1/4, which fits in here. But then for x2, it says negative 1/8 plus root 3 over 8i. It won't give you that middle term, or this second term, when you try to use your calculator on those. So you're going to need to memorize what to do with cubes. Practice will make perfect, I think. All right. Next one is also a cube. So we take the cube root of the first term, s, the cube root of the second term, plus 4. Take this thing and square it. Write it at the beginning. This thing and square it, and write it at the end. And take this times this, 4s. And the only thing people sometimes get wrong is they forget this is a negative sign. Remember, in every problem, there's always exactly one negative sign. So when we enter this on our calculator, on our computer, we'll get s plus 4, close parentheses, open parentheses, s squared minus 4s plus 16. Number 15. x cubed minus 125. We are getting a lot of practice on these cubes. Okay, x cubed minus 125 r cubed. We take the cube root of each part, x minus 5r, square this, x squared, square this, plus 25r squared, and take this times this, 5rx. So our factored form is x minus 5r, x squared, plus 5rx plus 25r squared. 16. Another perfect square. Well, if nothing else, we'll get plenty of practice on perfect squares, won't we? 125 x to the third minus 216 b to the third. Square root of 125 is 5, or cube root of x cubed, minus cube root of 216 is 6v. Square the first thing, 25x squared. Square the last thing, 36v squared. And take the first thing times the last thing, 30vx. So that's the way we write our answer. I gotta get this up a little bit so that I can see it. Parentheses, 5x minus 6v, 25x squared plus 30vx plus 36v squared. Last one, and it's the last one is also a cube. Amazing. Okay, 27x cubed plus 64y cubed. Take the first thing, cube root is 3x. Second thing, cube root is 4y. Square this, 9x squared. Square this, 16y squared. This times this is minus 12xy. Remember, you have to have exactly one negative sign. So our answer is, parentheses, 3x plus 4y, 9x squared, minus 12xy plus 16y squared. And that is